Hey YouTube family, it's Sarah, Less of Sarah. It's Sunday, so this is obviously a bit of an unscheduled video, but I knew this video was coming. I wanted to make this video. I wasn't sure exactly when I was going to make it, or when this milestone was going to happen. But today is the day. I'm not even 100% sure what the point of this video is going to be, or I guess I'm just sharing it because, you know, I feel like I have to bring you guys the good and the bad about this journey, and I think sometimes when we share our struggles, you know, it can help others who maybe have been in the same position. Mostly this is about mind games. So if you guys have watched my videos, I've talked in a couple of videos in varying amounts of detail about having an eating disorder when I was a teenager. And for those of you who haven't seen those videos, I'll just rehash fairly quickly. But when I was 17, I went on a diet, and that diet really quickly turned into basically anorexia, for lack of a better term. I had definite body dysmorphic things going on. I was severely restricting my calories. I would say, looking back and remembering what I ate on a daily basis, I would say maybe 200 to 500 calories a day at the very most. And my aim was, of course, to eat as few calories as possible to actually function. There was definitely an obsessive compulsive aspect to it when it came to the scale. There was a lot of secrecy. I was trying to hide it. I would make up ways of getting out of eating. I would try and invent ways to make it look like I had eaten when I hadn't, and all sorts of stuff like that. So I'm not 100% sure what triggered it at the time. My parents had asked my doctor our family doctor, to refer me to the Children's Exercise and Nutrition Center at a local hospital. And so I was going there and seeing a nutritionist, and I guess going on their diet plan, which was just a healthy eating plan, really. It was very low stress. Somehow was the start of it. And I don't know if it was the perfectionist thing. I wanted to do well, and now that someone else was monitoring my weight, I felt like I had to succeed. And when I went for weigh-ins, I had to be losing weight. There was also all sorts of stuff going on in my personal life. I was 17, and I'm sure if you've been 17, you know what 17 is like. There was a lot of drama in my life. There were some really negative things going on, and I think that this was a way of controlling something in my life. There was a lot of stuff going on where I felt like I wasn't in control, and so this was maybe a way of controlling it. So I think all those things fed into developing this eating disorder. And it's interesting because when you're thin or normal sized, I guess, and you're a teenager and you go on a diet, or you stop eating, then everyone's quick to label it an eating disorder. But when you're fat, it's just a diet. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Nobody pays attention. They just pay attention to the fact that you're losing weight. And I even feel uncomfortable describing it as anorexia, because I know people would say, well, you weren't anorexic because you were fat. But my behavior was exactly the behavior of someone who's anorexic. So I hesitate to use that word. I generally call it an eating disorder because that's what it was. But really, that's what it was. I didn't see the weight loss in myself. I actually felt like I was gaining weight. Like in my own head, when I looked at myself, I felt like I looked bigger. When I see pictures of myself now, I don't even recognize that person. Yeah, so there were lots of things at work there. It went on for about, I want to say, 6 months or so. Thank God it wasn't longer than that. I basically, one of my friends sort of caught on because we spent a lot of time together, and it got to the point where, I was a raving bitch because I wasn't eating. I was starting to lose my hair. I was looking ill. and the behaviors were becoming more extreme. And so she basically, you know, did her own little intervention and was like, I am going to tell your parents and whoever else I can find to tell our high school counselor, you name it, if you don't stop this. So I did. And then I started gaining weight again, and that's when my weight sort of skyrocketed after that. So yeah, I don't think that helped my already not that fast metabolism, the not eating for like 6 months. So, I guess the point of why I was making the video now is I knew that this was going to come up in my weight loss journey, because having been so obsessed with the scale, I remember exactly how much I weighed when it started and how much I weighed when it stopped. So, when it started, I weighed somewhere around 264. Just over, I think, 264. And the lowest weight I ever got to was 212 pounds. So that whole, I guess, 50-ish, 52-pound loss was basically a result of that eating disorder, for lack of a better term. And I knew that it was going to be awkward for me when I got to that weight and to that point on the scale, because it was almost going to be like a reminder of that time, which was not great for so many reasons. And so, mercifully, I never actually saw 264 on the scale. When I weighed in on Friday, I told you guys I weighed in at 265. And yesterday I weighed in at 263.5. I completely skipped over all of 264 on the scale, and that was, I don't know. I don't know if that was just like a small mercy that the scale gave me. It didn't even show me 264. But I'm now at that weight. I am in the weight range that I was when this whole thing started and when it was going on. And somehow that is screwing with me. And I don't even know why. I don't even know why. It was almost 20 years ago. I was a completely different person. This is not the same, you know? I am eating healthy. Yes, I'm not eating a lot of calories, but I'm eating healthy. I'm exercising. I'm not hiding what I'm doing. I'm as open as I can be about it. And I don't know why. It's just making me unsettled and uncomfortable, and yeah, I'm not even sure. And I don't want to sabotage myself, and I'm afraid of that a little bit. Because there are certainly similarities when you're, you know, dieting and you're trying to restrict your calories and all of those things. And I can be a person who, I won't call it obsessive, but who is very detail-oriented and very organized and very focused. And that can, at times, slip into obsessive-compulsive behavior. I wouldn't say that I generally have any kind of obsessive-compulsive issues or behaviors, but there are times when I can be very extremely focused, and it's borderline. It comes and goes with different things. And that's part of the reason that I've been successful in this journey. I can't discount that, but there are obviously negative things that can come from that as well. So, I don't know. I've decided that because the scale was such a big part of this whole issue, and that really seems to be the trigger for me, and the daily reminder of being in that weight range. I've decided that once I get to my 200-pound loss goal, which is 260 pounds, and hopefully that will be in the next couple of weeks, that I'm going to put the scale away for a while, which is really hard for me. If you guys know, if you follow me, you know I weigh every day. It is insanely difficult for me to comprehend not weighing, because to me that's my check and balance. And I'm afraid of not weighing because I'm afraid of going off track. I'm afraid of not knowing that I'm gaining, or as much as I know that that shouldn't happen, I don't know. So I guess I gave myself a bit of an out. And so I decided that I'm going to start with a scale-free September. And by scale-free, I don't mean completely and utterly scale-free. So I guess scale-free is a bit of a misnomer. But I'm going to weigh in on Fridays so that I can update you guys on my progress. So that I can make sure that I'm still on track. But that's the only time. There's not going to be any other weigh-ins any other day. If it means I have to get my husband to hide the scale, if it means I have to take out the batteries and hide them, freeze them in a block of ice, whatever I have to do, I need to release myself from seeing that number every day because I don't want to go back to that dark place. And I'm afraid of that. And I'm afraid of how that might affect my journey in general. So, yeah, I really feel like I need to get to my 200-pound loss goal before I do that. That's important to me. And so, but yeah, September, that's only 4 weigh-ins for all of September, entire month, which right now sounds so crazy. But I really feel like I need to do it. I feel like I need to challenge myself to focus on other parts of the journey and not just the weight, which is what my extreme focus was at the time that this was going on, because I just don't need it messing with me right now. I have a dress that's hanging in my closet that my mother gave me. Well, not that she gave me, but that she was at her house and she gave it to me. And that dress is the smallest item of clothing that I owned when I was in high school. Basically right at the tail end of this issue. I wore it to my high school formal. And at the time, grunge was really in, and there were all these like granny dresses, like printed like old school dresses. So it's a chiffon, floral printed dark dress. It's a size 14, and it's hanging in my closet. And I keep thinking about getting rid of it, to be honest, because it's the same thing. It's one of those things I look in the closet, I see it hanging there, and it's just a reminder of that time. And you know, I originally had it hanging there because I felt like when I could get into that dress, that would be, you know, a win, a victory for me, because that would mean that I was as small as I was at my smallest, you know, since I was 12 years old. But somehow I think that there really isn't going to be a victory in that. So I don't know that I'm going to get rid of it, but I don't want it hanging there. I, you know, need to put it in a box or put it up on the shelf or put it somewhere where I'm not seeing it all the time and I'm not having that reminder. And I know for some people they would feel like the reminder shouldn't be a negative thing. I mean, obviously I came out of it. I survived it, you know, but it is for me because I feel like that's the starting point of where my true morbid obesity started. And I just can't go there. So I guess the point of this video was just to share that with you guys, so that you know what's going on with me, and to kind of announce my quasi scale-free September. And I know there are lots of you who deal with scale issues and scale messing with you. So if anyone wants to join in, whether you go totally scale-free for September or you do weekly weigh-ins like I'm going to do, then I encourage you to comment and let me know that that you're in, and we'll support each other in breaking free of our pimp the scale. So I hope that you guys have a great weekend, and now more than ever I hope that you remember to appreciate every step in this journey. Have a great day.